Howdy, y'all. Greetings and salutations. A little bit of clarification, and some people want me to talk a little bit about my games too, and I'll cover that as well. But some clarification from the last video. I've received legit criticism. By the way, I want to make it clear. The feedback I believe was positive and constructive on from my viewers and listeners, because I know I have people that listen to me while they're driving in the car or riding a bike, you know, so I'm cool with that, but anyways, some clarification to kind of explain the purpose of the last video. The last video was not really meant to be like this big, giant, scientific experiment. It was more like for the practicality. Like, what does this mean for your game? You know what I mean? Like, what does this mean for you at the table? And, if you're like me, you have a couple different sets of dice, so you want to see which ones roll high, which ones roll low, which ones hit that average, that sweet spot in the mathematical formula that seemed the most balanced to you. Now, obviously, you're going to have ones and 20s on every dice, no matter what. It's a statistical possibility, therefore it's a probability. It's just that some dice seem to roll higher in my collection than they do others. And so that was more like a curiosity thing, and to kind of talk about a little bit of it, because it's not a subject that gets talked about a lot, and I'd be lying if I said that I understood every little facet of it. I simply don't. I'm not a mathematician. I did terrible with math, but I actually, since going into the workforce, have understood math a bit better, and especially since I started playing this game, start understanding math a lot better. So I might revisit this subject at a later date. I believe Archeo Matt brought up the fact that if you had 30 of every type of die and rolled it, it would probably be a more I don't like putting words into his mouth. I'm just trying to paraphrase. So if he's listening, I want him to understand. I'm simply trying to paraphrase because I don't have his exact words at the top of my head. But basically, kind of like a more sufficient data collection. If I understand him correctly, if I don't, I'm sorry. He can certainly clarify on his own. But that's how I took his comment, and definitely would like to do that. I simply don't have 30 of each dice in my collection, but definitely a possibility that I will try to reach for one day. Another thing too was I brought up digital die, and I don't know how that would relate to the formula. You would think digital die would be, because you're taking like surface imperfections and weights and dice towers and everything off the table. You're taking all that out of the equation. You're simply putting it into a computer and letting the algorithm determine the outcome. So I thought maybe that'd be interesting too. So I might visit that at some point because I am familiar with Avre and Dice Maiden. I've used both in the past, and we'll probably try them out at some point and see how they go. With that being said, for the time being, I will try to collect as much data and resources as I can to revisit this subject in a more satisfactory way. Let's put it that way. It was kind of more meant to get the ball rolling because nobody talks about this. It's a hidden mechanic. It's obviously relevant to the hobby. Everything from, have you ever wondered why 9 through 12s in basic don't give you any bonus or penalties? Because on a 3d6, 3s and 4s are the most common you're going to have in terms of the bell curve. So you're going to have, any kind of variation that would add up to 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12s. And that's why you get bonuses and penalties past those particular ranges. But I'm starting to ramble a little bit. That's just my plan for the future on that subject. Some other people have asked also what's going on in my games right now. Well, the Morgansport game is on hiatus while we play a Beckman game, so Morgansport is not done. We will eventually revisit that. We've instead got a group collaborative effort going on with the world of Mystara. We're going to be playing through Mystara, Last Tuesday was our first session. It was I'm DMing the Keep on the Borderlands with In Search of the Unknown. So a good classic mashup. Uh, some guys had never played it before, never had the opportunity, despite having been in the hobby longer than I've been alive. And I've always wanted to run it. I've had it for years. I've always used it in many of my videos and how I homebrew stuff, that with Morgan's Fort, because Morgan's Fort is basically Keep on the Borderlands. So, brought that up. In my opinion, if it's not Gary Gygax's greatest work, it's one of them. It's definitely his book that I enjoy the most. So, got a few players for it, 4 players total. 2 of them showed up, 2 of them couldn't make it. Not going to mention any names on them. If they ever decide they want to, let's put it this way. One of them does have a YouTube channel. If he decides he wants to drop his name, he's more than welcome to. But I'm not going to drop names just so it makes my campaign seem more important or more relevant in the eyes of old school gamers, simply because of cred. No, I want my game to stand up because I'm a good GM, and whether I am or not, that will, I guess if you want to check out his channel and you can figure out who it is, or if he flat out says who he is, he can let you know. But he wasn't able to make the last campaign or the last session, so we're hoping he's able to make this next upcoming one. But yeah, that's really all I got for you today, guys. Hope y'all are doing well, and I guess with that, God bless. Take care. God bless. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the likes. And thanks for all the support, guys. I appreciate it.